let's get into the nitty gritty of goalkeeping. Let's get our teeth into it a bit. What makes a good goalkeeper?
Of course, there's so many components, and I don't think there's one definition for a good goalkeeper as well.
Okay, what
I think
makes you a good goalkeeper? Why are you an English champion?
I would say myself personally, the things that I kind of think that I'm a bit better at is I'd say just raw kind of physicality. So the D as an area, obviously in hockey, you're not allowed outside the area, unlike football. So the D, I would say that I come on that quite well, and I've got quite good coverage over the D as well. Not only that, I think I'm quite a good shot stopper. On top of that, at the end of the day, I always have this mentality that it doesn't matter how you do it as long as you keep the ball out of the net. However, there are some people that are, I'd say, better at decision making. I wouldn't say my decision making is always the best, and there are some people that are much better at decision making. But for me, I'd say physically, I'd say I'm quite high, and then also just kind of raw presence as well, and trying to affect people's decisions within the D. That is kind of my strength as well as a goalkeeper.
So I was at the Copper Box for the Super 60 finals um, last year, and I think specifically in the final was it against Holcomb, the final, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was against
Uh,
Oldham.
and it became a bit of a ding dong affair, especially towards the end. They were having to come out a bit more and try and look for the win.
Mm.
And I remember thinking that if I was the forward, I would possibly have felt a bit intimidated by this 6 foot goalkeeper rushing
Yeah.
out and smothering the ball whenever he could.
Mm. Yeah, it's one of those things. I mean, especially in indoor as well, smaller D. I think I've got better movement indoor, so I like to utilize that quite a lot as well. So that's one thing I think indoor wise I'm slightly better at is kind of covering the D and almost acting like another defender rather than just a goalkeeper, acting as another defender and putting real pressure on the ball. Whenever it's in the circle, they don't have a free shot or an easy target or an easy run. So yeah, I think that's one thing as well.
Okay, so what do you enjoy about playing in goal in indoor? What do you enjoy about playing in goal outdoor?
Indoor, the pace, you're just involved so much more. As an outdoor keeper, you can go whole games without touching the ball and without really being involved. Indoor is so much more similar to well, it's quite similar to basketball really. Like you're almost certainly going to get a shot. If you don't get a shot in indoor, then the other team is doing something seriously wrong. Don't get me wrong, it's the same in outdoor, but if you're getting a shot on target, no, sorry, if you're playing indoor, then the other team you're definitely going to be involved, and it's definitely kind of much more of a it's more intense playing indoor than it is outdoor. On the flip side, outdoor, I think I prefer just kind of it's more. I almost don't know how to describe it really. Outdoors more. It's quite methodical as well. I quite respect the fact that outdoor kind of you can almost build your way into a game and kind of set up, start to really see how the other team's playing and go from it from that side as well, which is quite interesting as well as a kind of concept in terms of outdoor hockey. I think obviously they're quite similar in terms of they're both hockey, but they're also very very different in terms of indoors a lot quicker, but outdoors more methodical and more kind of calculated almost for me anyway.
If so, what do you need to become a better goalkeeper? What do you need to what What are the essentials to a good goalkeeper?
First of all, you need to be quite not aggressive but confident. Definitely confidence. I mean, I do a lot of coaching, and that's one thing I talk to my kind of. I was about to call them students, but they're not really students, are they? The kids that I coach. A
Athlete
big
learners.
Yes, junior athletes. That's it. A big thing is kind of confidence, like confidence not only in yourself but just the way you carry yourself. Like as you said earlier, that presence helps put off other people, and it definitely has an effect on the attackers, whether it be kind of charging out, whether it be kind of confidence in kind of a diving left save. You need to, or a diving right save even. You need to have that confidence as well. Not only kind of in yourself, but what you show other people. I think that's a big thing. Also footwork as well, definitely footwork. One of my coaches, Giles, I hope he actually watches, like listens to this. His like main saying was, "You should never have to dive because your footwork should be so good that you never have to dive." And literally, he's not wrong. I'll be honest with you. If your footwork's good enough, you shouldn't really ever have to dive. You'd be able to get across the goal and kind of move about as well as you need to, as well. That was that's one of my kind of little nuggets of information that I stole from him as well that I quite liked. And then I think balance as well needs to be quite balanced. I think with goalkeeping, it's very niche, but if your weight's on one side of your body, it's very difficult to go the other way. And being quite balanced and quite agile is key, I think, and that's helped me out a bit. And also been kind of a negative that I've had to work on at some points as well. So
How do you work on that then? Is it Swiss balls? Is it standing on things? Is it
loads of different ways, really. I mean, kind of one-legged squats. I got used to doing a lot of them back in the day as well, and just kind of there's loads of like different like, little coordination exercises you can do as well, just to make sure you're balanced, and also just literally going through a session and just saying, because one thing I do as well, I'm quite good at not really caring how many goals I let in the session. Don't get me wrong, in certain scenarios, you need to get picked, so you need to play really well in training. But also at the same time, training is so that you develop and grow. So I'm the sort of person who will say, look, I might get 100 shots today. Don't care how many I let in. I just want to make sure, at least with 70 of these shots right now, I know I'm completely balanced. Focus on that and just focus on little things as well as your goalkeeping. So literally I'll go through sessions because we always start with the shooting drill always at Surbiton. That's the first thing we do. Whether it's kind of like half the team, the whole team, like a few people will always do a shooting drill as kind of like a little warm up, not only for me but the players as well. And in that, I will just be like, look, let me make sure I'm balanced. Cool, got that. Let me make sure I can do a left foot save, right foot save, hand save. And I'm quite superstitious in a way where I just need to check everything off, and then I'm like, all right, sweet, I'm ready to go. And that's kind of my warm up almost. So yeah.
yeah? So achievable goals, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
learning from failure as well.
yeah, and
Um,
not being afraid of learning from failure as well. Like, I mean, when I was young, and to be honest, when I was younger, I look back at it now, and I was so bad at it. If I let in a goal in training, I was in the worst mood. You can ask anyone from school. We, our training sessions were so intense. If I let in a goal, I was in a bad mood. If they didn't score, they were in a bad mood. It was just, but it was a really good thing because we set those standards for ourselves, if that makes sense. So it was one of those where you were almost disappointed if you didn't do really well, which don't get me wrong is good, but also now looking back, you think don't focus on that. Move on to the next one. Make sure the next one's better. That's the mindset you need to have as well.